Welcome to another episode of the Irreplaceable Dental Team. And do I have a guest for you today? Welcome with me, Syed. Welcome, Mr. Syed. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. Thank you for having me, HD. And it's wonderful to see you on a Friday afternoon here. And it's an awesome day here in Dallas.
Dallas. Okay. Not too hot, I hope, because Texas is a place of extremes.
We are seeing pretty hot days here. Today is about 103.
Oh,
and
thank God for AC, right?
Yes, and you know, it's one of those days where you will know that you live in Dallas.
Okay.
and one of those days where you know that we haven't seen that bad of a summer actually. We have seen low 90s, high 90s, but hundreds not many days. So usually we see 100 days of hundreds here, which is pretty normal, but this summer has been great so far.
Okay. So I know who you are, but can you share a little bit more about who you are and what you bring to the table, Samad?
Thank you so much, Heather, HD. And for the listeners, my name is Syed. I am CEO of SRS Web Solutions. SRS Web Solutions is a healthcare software company, and mConsent is the product that helps dental practices specifically. And we help in three formats. The number one is that we help with patient intake at the practice. So if you're at the practice, you're looking to streamline your front office operations, especially the paperwork, the documentation, we help with that. And number two is that we help with patient communication. So whether you're looking for phones, you're looking for text messaging, online scheduling, anything to do with patient communication, we help you with that. And number three is the growing of your practice. So we find different ways or better ways to grow your practice, not just by marketing, but also helping you improve your treatment plan reminders, allowing you to remind your patients that, hey, there is a treatment plan that's open. You may want to come in before things get bad. So those are the things that we help with, and also we help with payments, collecting credit cards, payment processing, online collection of payments, whether it's texting, whether it's email. So it's a long intro, but that's what mConsent does. And I did my bachelor's in engineering, and I did my master's in engineering, and then I did my MBA from Indiana University. I did not intend to be an entrepreneur, but I worked in a corporate world as a process improvement director. But that itch of entrepreneurship I had when I was in 2014, 2015, once I completed my MBA, that itch started. And due to that itch, here I am today with, we have about 2,500 offices that we serve on mConsent side. And I'm very proud of the team that we work with here.
Well, thank God for that itch.
Hopefully it's good.
So, as I listened to your introduction, what came to me is most dental offices, not the DSO space, but the average dental office, we have limitations.
Yeah.
However, we have the same need as larger companies, but we just don't have the manpower. So how awesome is it to have a second hand or an additional leg to do legwork for you in collections, or to do that collection of data so that when the patient comes in, everything is up to date and all of that. It really can be very helpful when you can be organized without having to be the one to do that. So I'll tell you. You know that magic hand? You know what you call that magic hand? It's called systems. And systems is something that allows us to do more in little time. We all are busy and we need some life balance, and also human errors happens. Human error happens every day. And let me share a story with you with the systems. A very amazing story that comes to my mind, that I was talking to one of the practice managers a couple of days ago, and
he told me a story that they got a 1-star review on their practice, and he was like, dude, this is something that day is bad day for me when I get a 1-star review. And he told me his story. He's like, the patient came to the practice and the front office was working with, like, as front office works, doing insurance verification, documentation, taking care of the patients, collecting payments, all that stuff, everything. They are
all at once,
superman, superwomans of the practice, right? and things sometimes get slipped. So this is what happened. The patient, the office manager, the front office staff, they collected a payment of a patient, and they thought they collected the payment, and now she's not finding the payment where she collected, because it should be in open dental. They use open dental. And she calls the patient and said that, hey, listen, John, I think we missed taking your payment. Can you please come back and, complete the payment? And the patient is like, no, I think I paid you guys, because it's $395. I know I paid it. And the front office is adamant. And she's like, if you can come in tomorrow, I'll wait for you, but let's get it done. And he's like upset. He sounds upset. And he's like, let me call you back in an hour. He goes in, he looks into credit card, and he's like, I did make the payment. He calls back, is like, I did pay the payment. I have the proof here. And she is like, okay, let me see it. He's like, okay, I'll come to your office now. And he comes into the office, and the practice manager is like, he had a chat with the front office, like, what happened? He's like, no, we didn't collect it. He thinks we collected. So he's coming over to make sure that he's showing his proof. He walks into the office, and he's not looking at the front office lady. He's upset. You can see it's in his eyes. And he's like, I need to talk to your manager. And the office manager comes out, and he's a wonderful guy. I know him. And he's like, sir, I think we missed taking your payments. I know you. He's like, I got to prove that I paid you, man. Let me show it to you. And he pulls out his iPhone, big screen, and he's like showing the picture of the payment. He's like, all right, let me do due diligence on my side. And the practice manager go back. He pulls into his credit card processing, and he sees the name, and he does see the payment. So what happened here is that the front office missed on posting the payments into the open dental. Things happen, and the patient is super upset. He's like, you're trying to double charge me, or you guys don't have your stuff together. I can't work with you guys anymore. This is nonsense. I mean, to the patient, this is all valid for him, right? He's like, he is justified with his anger and being upset. And the practice manager is like, listen, I had an option here. I could get upset with the front office girl. I could be like, write her up, or I took a different way. And he's a smart guy. He took a step back, and he said that, this is not there are 3 P's: people, policy, processes. And one of those 3, what is missing here? He looked at it and he said, it's not policy. We have the clear policy there. It's not, although it's a person, it's a human error, but what's missing here is a proper process. There's a system that's missing, which is unable to post the payments. That's why he called me to ask me, is there a way we can post this automatically into into our open dental, so we don't have to manually do it? And that's what we do. With our MPR system, we automatically post as the payment coming through the terminals. And that is something that he said that that's what we need. In one of those P's, the most important one is the processes, that is systems. And if we take care of our systems, automatically our performance of the practice improves, our reputation improves, and you have employees who are satisfied just because you have processes in place, right? So it's because human error, you can't actually, we're humans. What else you want?
Syed, that's such an important point, because people think that we're in the business of fixing teeth. We're in the people business. Everything
Absolutely.
is relational. And I'm not saying that we should not do optimum dentistry, but I'm saying even if your dentistry is not optimal, if your relationship with your clients, it's up there, that says a whole lot.
Absolutely.
You have perfect clinical experiences and you come to the front feeling good, and you have something that's not so pleasant, all of the pleasantries from the back is wiped out because you're now walking through the office seething at look at what happened. And the scenario that you presented is so common. Everybody can say, I've had an experience like that. So in addition to that, Syed, what are some other challenges that dental practices face in patient engagement? And then how has mConsent been able to help them address those challenges?
So one of the campaigns that I'm running, and I love to come on your podcast to get my plea to the dental practices, is that you're ignoring the number one asset in your practice. You're ignoring it. Everybody ignores this. And every doctor I talk to, every dental office manager I talk to, every practice owner I talk to, I'm trying to get this message across. And I hope that people who are listening to your podcast gets this. The number one asset in your practice, and we did a survey and we asked people about this, and they get it so wrong. The number one asset in your practice is your patient database. I'll tell you why. What do you think is the valuation of a practice that have 500 patients in the database versus 5,000?
The active patients. That's what makes the difference. Because you can
makes
have
a difference.
And only 100 are active, or you can have 500 and 400 are active. So it really depends on how engaged you are.
So I'll tell you something that is a formula to keep your patients active.
Mm-hmm.
We think that, so if you have 5,000 patients in your database and you have 1,500 only active, do you know why they got inactive? Because they're not listening from you. They're not seeing what they need to see from you. And this could be, how am I keeping my patients up to date? Because let me tell you this, you have 5,000 patients in your database. Maybe, 10% of those moved out. They're not in the neighborhood anymore. They find a different job. Their kids moved out. 50,000 things. But that's only 10%. The other 90% are just not taking care of their oral health, number one. They're just being lazy, or they're finding somebody else. And out of those 5,000, I'll tell you this, you have other practices in your area willing to pay $200 to $600 per patient to bring the patients that are in your database into their database.
Yes, that is a fact.
That is a fact, and all the doctors and the practice owners have talks about marketing. Everybody wants to get new patients into their practice, but you have like ton of patients that you haven't contacted them in years, or at least more than 12 months, so you can bring them back. What are we doing about that? That is something that I wanted to tell everybody, is that whatever system that you use, or you don't use a system, start doing this now. Go to your social media, find out who your patients are, find out in which neighborhood you are, and send them regular emails, informing them about normal stuff that happens to your practice. Hey, Lisa have baby shower in our practice. These are the pictures, right? Stacy's son is going to school. She does this at our practice. Doctor made a trip to Switzerland. This is his pictures from the trip. So those things bring the human aspect, and people want to be in touch. They want to see what's happening. And short videos, whether you talk about 30-second videos, whether you talk about 20 pictures, whatever that is, you got to find a reason to be in touch with your patients so they remain active. And for that purpose, what we have at mConsent is that we allow you to automate that process. So we allow you to send the newsletters, we allow you to send reminders that, hey, doctor was asking about. You don't have to always give coupons. You just have to say, hey, doctor was thinking about you and you haven't been here for a long time. Is everything going okay? And people, I'll tell you this, we worked with the Crescent Family Dental out of Chicago. They're in suburbs of Chicago area. And we were just doing normal stuff, sending a text message, email, and some direct mails. We were able to bring in on average of 40 patients a month, just from that inactive list.
That's significant.
And you do the math to the for the revenue that it generates, additional $15,000, $20,000, $40,000, right? Every month. So that is what I'm talking about, is that you got to look at your patient database. You can't continue to ignore your patient database. You got to find ways to connect with it. And there is nothing better than bringing back your own patients. I call it's your patients. They have come to your practice. They know you very well, and they know where your office is. They know who works at your practice. They know the doctor by first name, by last name. Even if they have come for first time, they just get cleaning done, but that's fine. You just need to ask them how they're doing. Talk to them.
I think you're underscoring what we're saying about this thing being very relational. Because really, in the correspondence, we're not getting too intricate about dentistry. We're just maintaining relationships or refreshing relationships. Would your book, The Art of Patient Re-engagement, help our listeners or our viewers? Tell me a little
Absolutely.
bit about that.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing.
I mean, how many hats do you wear, Syed?
Thank you for bringing up that book. So the book that I wrote is for this purpose. I wanted to let the dental industry know that this is the problem, that people are not paying attention to these relationships. And if they just do that, the biggest thing, if nothing, if you're a numbers guy and you understand less of relationship, for the numbers guy, listen to me here. The cost of bringing a patient into your practice, if you try to bring a new patient, is anywhere between $250 and $600. The cost of bringing back your existing patient is close to $50 or less.
Oh my goodness. You
So
did well in math in school. That's very
so this is basic math, is that you don't have to work that hard, that you're spending $500 on Facebook, Google, sending mails and all that stuff. Just work with your current database and bring patients back. If you're able to bring in 5% of your inactive patients from past 12 months who haven't showed up, 5% could be, depending on how big your practice is, if you have 5,000 inactive, that's 50 patients. 10% of 5,000 is 500.
Okay, so Syed, I'm going to ask you to drill down here for me now. Tell me how mConsent will help us, the dental team, with the appointment scheduling and insurance verification and collecting patient payments and, just general patient communication.
Sure.
Tell me specifically how my listeners can listen and leave a way to say, that's what I want.
So
as specific as possible.
I'll take 2 minutes to tell about what mConsent does. When it comes to patient intake, you can do the documentation. We verify the insurance as soon as they come in. You can do verification tool with us, or you can ask a human. You can ask for an insurance manager. We have insurance managers on our staff who we can dedicate to your practice, and they can help you verify the insurance. So that's number 2. Number 3 is that we help with online scheduling. We help with appointment reminders. We help with communicating text messaging with patients. So if you have a question, you want to request a copy of a bill, copy of x-ray, copy of authorization, send them a text message. You can send paperwork, all documentation before they come in. We have a kiosk in the front office. If you're a busy practice, we have a kiosk where the patients, instead of waiting for you to give all the paperwork, they can come in, check in, they get a text message with all the forms they can complete it. Not everybody completes their forms when they're at home. So when they're sitting at your office, it automatically texts them when you fill out your information at the kiosk. We also help with payments, collecting the payments, and we also help with collecting online payments. There are a lot of people who send out mailers, paper mail. I get paper mail all the time. It's like, can you make a bill? Now, who is checking paper mail these days? And so we help with text messaging, requesting for the invoice, and get it paid within an hour or 2 hours. 64% of people prefer to get a text message and get it done. They don't want to send out a paper checks anymore. One more thing that we help with patient database reactivation, patient reactivation. We have a dedicated account manager who can reactivate your patients, the patients who haven't come back to your practice for 12 months or more. Treatment plan reminders. This is about the growing your practice. So you gave a treatment plan.
Yes.
The patients are not responding. We have an auto, or the treatment coordinator does not get time to call all the patients to follow up. This is your magic hand, which can help you out to remind the patients that, hey, you got it, what happened, and all that stuff, and combine that with your voice calls. Tremendously helps.
Well, I'll tell you that there are other companies doing bits and pieces of what you offer, but I've not heard of anybody comprehensively providing the support that mConsent.
That's the difference between what we do and what others do. There are tools available here and there. What we try to do is that when you work with us, we provide comprehensive. We understand dentistry. We have been with dentistry for past 8 years, and I'll tell you, I hang around a lot with dentists to know their problems. so that is something that how we differentiate with others when it comes to mConsent.
Okay, so all right, we've spoken about what you do. Is there anything coming up on the horizon? Everybody's moving towards AI because technology is moving ahead so quickly. So are there any upcoming innovations or developments on the mConsent platform that dental teams could?
Yes, so we are awesome. That's a great question. And we are our research and development team is always thinking about how do we help our practices in a better way. And there are 2 places that we are actively working on to introduce to the market. Number one is Zaha AI, which is basically helping both either dental assistant or the doctors, whoever takes the patient notes with the SOAP notes. So all they do is that they basically transcribe. There you go. So they basically go and just say, and the AI will write in a SOAP format, and it will tell you if you missed something. It will tell you that, hey, you missed a tooth number. So that is something that's awesome. We're excited about that, and I think it's going to be tremendous help when it comes to notes taking. And we have direct integrations with Open Dental, EagleSoft, Dentrix, so we can push that directly into the notes area. And number 2, which I think is huge, is that dental practices miss about 30% of their phone calls. And off office hours, when you're not in the office, you get patient calls. Who handles those, right? That's a big question in the mind of practice owners and also the front office and practice managers. So what we have is that we have a voice assistant, which basically says that, okay, when you're turning off your office, just turn me on. And it takes all the calls for you, and it transcribes for you who called, why did they call, and they will send you a text message saying there is a message for you and this person called in. And also, if you get super busy and you turn on AI, it will basically start picking up your calls and say that, doctor will get back to you, or the front office will get back to you. We are on different calls. You basically have an assistant that's basically saying, just give us a second. There's somebody who's going to come and help you out. Or if you want this AI to actually set up appointments, it can do that.
So when are you anticipating these fantastic things coming on board?
Towards the end of the year, Q4, late Q4, early Q1 of 2025 is when we are anticipating to launch this fully. Okay, so can I have your word that you will keep us posted? Absolutely. I have your email address for sure.
Okay, So as it relates to the answering of the phone or so, are we going to get a robotic voice, or are we going to get a lovely, flowing, human sounding person answering?
It is very, very deceptive, I'll tell you that. You won't even know that you're talking to somebody. Actually, I can take HD's voice and make it in a clone of AI, and it can talk.
I'm scared of you.
That's what on horizon up there is. Like, the world is adopting and moving so fast that I think we need to know about this, and ethical AI is a big deal, and a lot of people are researching into it, is like what it should do, what it should not do, because those are the concerns that every good human being have. Those concerns is that what is the limit of AI, and I think we need to discuss that.
Okay, well, this has really been a power-packed few minutes, because there's so much we discovered in a relatively short period of time. If, Samad, they wanted to get further information from you, where would my viewers be able to find you?
So the best way is mConsent.net is our website. mConsent, M for Mary, consent as your consent form, the consent.net. And there's a phone number, there's a form that you can fill it out, and one of our team members will get back to you. Or if you want to connect with me, I'm on LinkedIn, and my LinkedIn ID is SAMAD SYED, Samad Syed. You should be able to find me. There are not many people with this name, so you should be able to find me easily on LinkedIn.
Okay, I have a surprise for you. We always have to put a little flavor in life, right?
Nice.
So I'm going to rapid fire you 3 questions. Let's see how you do.
Let's do it.
Favorite food?
That's all. I'm a foodie, I got a lot of good foods here, but I love Indian biryani, if you know what that is. Biryani is basically a mutton, and it's rice. So it's basically cooked mutton and rice cooked together and different herbs. So it tastes so amazing. It's a good dinner.
Wonder if I join mConsent, if I could get some of that.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. What's on your bucket list? What place do you absolutely want to visit?
I haven't visited Switzerland, and that's on my bucket list. And I would say that the next chance I have, I'm off to Switzerland.
Can I tell you that that's on my bucket list? I interviewed somebody 2 weeks ago. That's on her bucket list. So what's up with Switzerland? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I had few of my friends, they visited last year, and they have been talking about it all day, all night. So I'm like, I got to go and see.
What's your favorite movie of all times?
Favorite movie? I'm not actually, I don't get time to watch movies, but I have to. Titanic was a good one. Titanic is something that I can watch, and it's a good movie. I don't get time usually these days to watch movies now.
I let you off the hook. I said of all times.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, we'll take Titanic.
Thank you.
Though it was quite some time ago, but it's all but it's all good. So what I want my viewers to know is that mConsent is here to provide seamless support for your practice, ensuring every patient experience begins with informed consent. How
Absolutely.
does that sound?
It sounds very good. Thank you.
All right. You have to promise me one thing.
Please.
You come again when you have all the additional bells and whistles on board, and share with our audience again.
I will love to do that. And I'll tell you that, when I come next time, I'll probably get a quick demo of AI, and you probably will speak to my AI.
Oh boy, I'm looking forward to that already.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, HD. Appreciate you having me, and love the conversation. Amazing conversation.
Great.